Hello, I am Lee Ono from Payment Solution Team. I am an engineer of the payment team. Today, I'm going to talk about our payment system for the urban city. Let me introduce myself at first. I have been spent all time as an engineer at my careers. I joined the payment team in December 2021, 4 months ago. Before joining the team, I mainly worked at web search company and electronic commerce company. And I have been working as a tech lead of backend service and front-end backend and developer and a product manager of the native application. Okay, let's begin today's topics. Here is our team mission statement. Increase the value of the city by providing the payment systems. I would like to explain about our work to realize this mission. First, we will build a payment infrastructure that is used at urban city. Economic activity is the birth of the city, so we should build easy to use, secure, and sustainable payment infrastructure. Next, we will offer the interfaces to connect buyer, seller, and inventor. You might imagine buyer and seller easily, but what is the inventor? Many people will start to live in the urban city in the future. There are some interesting differences from other cities. The urban city wants inventors to live in the city. This inventor includes scientists, researchers, startup ventures, artists, and so on. They will be able to sell their products and services easily with our payment system. Next, I would like to talk about our system architecture. We are trying to build our system using a microservice architecture. There were some reasons to build our system as a microservice. First, the payment system will be used anytime, anywhere by customers. So we should build a system with high availability. So for example, if the payment system goes down, we want to make sure that the aggregation system does not go down with it. Next, to cope with our scalable future, the urban city is not yet on the market. So the business and system requirement will be changed dramatically in the future. We want our system to cope with the changes using a microservice architecture. So how are we designing the microservice and data models? At first, we define the settlement node at first. This figure is the fictional settlement node that issued by Woven City for each tenant. We can imagine what kind of data fields are required from this settlement node. We could find store ID and transaction ID and transaction date time and payment amount and so on from this settlement node. Next, we try to use event storming to design microservices and data models. We are still running it, but we could define the fundamental architecture and data models with event storming. I found some positive and negative points from executing event storming. At first, positive points. We could clarify the business workflow with business expert. All members in our team has great experience of payment system development, except for me. So we could clarify the workflow, and I, as a beginner, could know the workflow of the payment with working event storming. We could share share knowledge with participants at all at once. And this is negative point. It takes so much time. I felt that it is hard to do event storming every designing timing. And now we are working from home and we felt it's easier to design using event storming face to face. Next, tech stack. Here is the technology that our team is using. Kotlin and Kter and Cassandra. Actually, we haven't decided yet which data store we will use, and Open API and so on. Kotlin is popular for Android development, but we are using Kotlin for server-side programming. Why are we using Kotlin? Because Kotlin is easy to run and use, especially for Java engineers. All members in our team are new to Kotlin, and we all have experience of Java coding. In my case, I started to write a code with Kotlin 4 months ago, and I have an experience of Java coding for several years. I could set up project and implement code that in the unit tests easily. From another point of view, the urban city is the city of challenge. So we decided to use Kotlin for our products. We found some good point for Kotlin development. We can use Java resources and experience. For example, we are using Gradle for the package management and JUnit 5 and Jacoco for unit test and measuring coverage. And we use Open API to define RESTful API specification and also Open API generator to create data object. We have some big tasks for the future. We are planning to implement some proof of concept features to test at Urban City. And technically, we are planning to run our application on the Kubernetes. That's all for me. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you. Wow. There are a lot of questions already rolling in.
Really?
So yeah, you are very popular. Okay, just some first like housekeeping questions. First, someone asked if the slides will be available at a later date or only through the recordings. We're working on that right now, so we'll get back to you, but most likely we are looking to make them available. Yes. Okay. Another thing, will we discuss any open roles that we're recruiting at the end of the presentation? Yes, we'll have a slide kind of describing some open roles, and we also have the recruiting team out in the back here. So if you are interested, please, talk to them. For the online participants, yes, the promotional post after the meetup will also contain the hiring information as well. Let's see. Okay. Now it's your turn. Let's see. Will the payment systems be dependent on Japanese-only hardware like Felica, or would it be compatible with international smartphones? If you cannot answer, we also have her boss here. Kame-san is in the back, so he can probably answer this as well.
Because I am beginner of payment.
Yeah, we come prepared. Don't think you can ask us questions we don't know. So, will the payment system be dependent on Japanese-only hardware like Felica, or will it be compatible with international smartphones?
Now we don't decide to use specific devices, so we can choose any devices for QR code or also credit card and NFC, AB. So we don't care what to use through devices. So we are so our system is open to use any devices. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So in essence, we are very flexible in terms of the payment system. Got it. Okay. For either of you now, since you're both up here, what are the flaws or limitations of today's payment systems that you decide to develop your own? Why are we making this payment system instead of using someone else's payment system?
Can I say the least? Yeah. Because we want to collect the payment data in the urban city. This is us.
Oh, okay, yeah. So essentially, we're gonna have this payment data, which definitely helps with. If you came to our last tech meetup, we had a presentation on human behavior understanding and our machine learning models to kind of model human behavior, and this will also feed into that pipeline as well. It seems like both of these top questions here are the same question of why making a new payment system. Will visitors be able to use this payment system? Will visitors be able to use this payment system?
Yes, that's right. Visitor will should create the account.
Guest
in
accounts?
their guest account in university. So if the user created the university account, they can use the payment in the university.
Okay, yeah, so we'll have guest accounts. Sounds good. Let's see. What kind of future payment services are you considering? For example, cryptocurrencies.
Cryptocurrency. we have the considering only we are considering payment.
Mhm.
We are not consider cryptocurrency and points.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mainly fiat. Okay, I understand. Cool. Let's see. This next question isn't really payment specific, so I'm going to maybe we can answer that afterwards. But could you share any challenges during the transition from Java to Kotlin?
Challenges. Yeah. Kotlin is a very good language, but we should learn how to write the code different from the Java. So we should learn little and little Java.
Mhm.
And is there any?
Yeah, I mean, like I also have experience working with their team, and I actually, as a background to myself, I'm working on the DevOps and tooling and the CI/CD pipeline and builds, and so we are actually working on currently supporting Java and Kotlin in our build system right now. And just as a story from my side, the tooling is actually very different between Java and Kotlin, especially with like build tools like Maven and Gradle, where you have to do a lot of your own dependency management and kind of searching for your own dependencies. Kotlin is a lot easier. It actually helps a lot in terms of like Java, its maturity in the system these days relies a lot on annotations and a lot of magic that goes on behind the scenes, and things like Maven and Gradle will help you do that automatically. But if you want to manage that stuff on your own and you want to kind of have more control over that, it becomes a lot harder. And synchronizing those two between Java and Kotlin has become a big issue. So if you're looking for that kind of stuff, it's a big wall.
And there are a few less materials to learn Kotlin, server-side Kotlin.
Yeah, a lot of Kotlin is Android. Yeah,
yes,
so lot less documentation out there. So be careful. Let's see. Do you design the payment for only Japan or available globally? If so, how do you plan to handle rules on cross-border taxes and currencies?
Yes, of course, we are considering using globally, but at first, we are implement the system used in Japan.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we have our initial scope. As I said before, don't over-engineer, don't make your scope too big. Our initial scope is in Japan. We are making it flexible enough to be expanded globally. Cool. Oh, we have so many questions. You guys are really question hungry, very curious. So I'm happy that this is happening. So yeah. Let's see that one. Okay, Open API, RESTful APIs are not very performant. Why have you considered a faster transfer protocol like gRPC?
Yeah, we haven't used the gRCP yet, but no, no. We will use gRCP for internally connection, but we will provide APIs for external Urban City. So it's easy to use. REST API is easier than gRCP for users, API users. So
Yeah, judging from my own experience as well, like a lot of the industry is already familiar with RESTful APIs over HTTP, and gRPC, just having that should be more of a bonus rather than kind of in your initial scope. And so we will definitely, we do have plans to add it, but just not right now. It's not within the initial scope. Let's see. Are all teams / services using Kotlin in the backend? I know their team is, but not all teams. Essentially, for our tech stack, each team is using what they're best at and what they're most familiar with. And so essentially, you get to choose what you want to use and what best fits the situation. It doesn't make sense to have like an ML pipeline in Kotlin, you know, obvious reasons.
which language is more popular in Urban City?
For us, our most popular languages are Golang and Java
I
/ Kotlin
see,
right
I
now.
see.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, we have a little bit of Node. Some people are doing some Rust stuff, but overall it's mainly Golang and Java Kotlin. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of there's a few non-payment questions here, so I'm going to double check on the time here. Yeah, we are kind of at the limit of our time. I will try and get everyone to answer these questions in text like we did on the last one, but I'm sure everyone here is really itching to talk to each other and get to know each other, as well as getting to know our engineers. So what we're going to do is we're going to close up on the tech talk. So thank you, Ono-san. Let's give another round of applause to Ono-san.